Trump commented on European support for the operation in the Middle East. And in Russia, they once again killed their own pilots. My name is Albina Pidhirnyak. I'll share more details next. Trump held a meeting with German Chancellor Friedrich Merz the day before. Trump also commented on the position of different European countries. He said he is closing trade with Spain, even though Spain doesn't support the war in the Middle East and doesn't allow the use of its military bases.
He went the exact opposite way, and I terminated that. If I didn't terminate that deal, they would be sitting with a massive nuclear weapon 3 years ago, which would have been used already on Israel at least, and other countries also.
So we, as I said, in Germany the last 2 days, we are supporting the United States and Israel to get rid of this terrible terrorist regime. And we are looking forward to a day after, and we have to talk about the strategy. What is following after this regime is away, and we have to strategize on this entire region. And we are having a high interest in common approach and common work and what we can do, and this is important not just for the Americans. This is extremely important for Europe and extremely important for Israel and their security. So we are really looking forward to find ways how to deal about the day after.
Some of the European, like Spain, has been terrible. In fact, I told Scott to cut off all dealings with Spain. Spain, first of all. And I'm not, by the way, I'm not happy with the UK either. That island that you read about, the lease, okay, he made it, for whatever reason, he made a lease of the island. Somebody came and took it away from him. And it's taken 3-4 days for us to work out where we can land there. It would have been much more convenient landing there as opposed to flying many extra hours. So we are very surprised. This is not Winston Churchill that we're dealing with.
It seems that Macron immediately heard Trump and decided to speed things up.
Faced with this unstable situation and the uncertainties of the days to come, I have given the order for the Charles de Gaulle aircraft carrier, its air assets and its frigate escort to make their way to the Mediterranean.
Ces moyens aériens, son escorte de frégate, fasse route vers la Méditerranée.
My fellow citizens, this evening I wanted to give you an update on the situation and our actions. Many things are still unstable, but France remains a power that protects its people, a power committed to peace, reliable, predictable and determined.
Two Nobel Prizes should be given right away, one to Trump and the second to Netanyahu, said the Israel Consul General in New York.
One last thing, with your permission, I don't know if President Trump is watching us. I don't know if he's watching us right now, but I think that President Trump and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu deserve the Nobel Peace Prize. Like Menachem Begin and Anwar Sadat received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1979. I hope that President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu will receive the Nobel Peace Prize next year. They deserve it.
The leadership of NATO and the International Atomic Energy Agency have different views to Iran's chance of getting nuclear weapons. Here is what Mark Rutte and Grossi said.
Answering that question, of course, NATO is not itself involved, but let's be absolutely clear-eyed to what's happening here. Iran is close to getting its hand on a nuclear capability and on a ballistic missile capability, which is posing a threat not only to the region, the Middle East, including posing an existential threat to Israel. It is also posing a huge threat to us here in Europe.
Iran has a very big, ambitious nuclear program that we do not have the accesses that we should have. At the same time, I said it last year, before the June 12-day war, we don't see a structured program to manufacture nuclear weapons. So that is the assessment of the agency. Then, of course, countries have either other information or political considerations, which are not for me to validate, as I said, or invalidate.
A series of powerful explosions were heard in Iran's capital the day before. Media report that US B-2 Stealth bomber struck in Iran. Israel also announced new air attacks. Peskov spoke about nuclear deterrence. He said that in the case of Europe, the main sin is not to expand nuclear weapons, likely referring to Ukraine.
The German government reports that Berlin will begin cooperation with Paris in the field of nuclear weapons, including taking part in French nuclear exercises. And it is stated that the nuclear dimension of deterrence continues to be the cornerstone of European security. How does the Kremlin feel about this news?
There is a grain of truth here, and a fair amount of truth. Indeed, the nuclear spectacle, deterrence remains the cornerstone of global security. This is very important, but at the same time, we must not forget about the non-proliferation regime. First, and secondly, these words once again emphasize the rightness of the Russian side when it says that further negotiations on country stability can only be taken into account and with the participation of Great Britain and France, that is, European nuclear powers. Without this, it is absolutely impossible to conduct any negotiations in the current conditions.
Putin spoke to police officers. He said that soldiers who returned from the war in Ukraine should be involved in maintaining public order.
One of the most important options for replenishing personnel is the involvement of veterans of the special military operation. With their combat experience, psychological and physical hardening, they are able to seriously strengthen the ranks of the Ministry of Internal Affairs. I ask you to be more active in the selection of such candidates for available vacancies. And in conclusion, I would like to thank the personnel of the Ministry for their conscientious attitude to their duties, and especially those employees who courageously perform tasks as part of the special military operation in cooperation with other law enforcement agencies, state authorities and local self-government, participate in ensuring public order and legal regimes in Donbass and in Novorossiya, in the border area. In difficult conditions with a risk to life, the safety and rights of their residents are protected. With their fearlessness, competence, and adherence to principles, they strengthen people's faith in the power of the state and the law.
It looks like another case of friendly fire in Russia. One helicopter and its crew were lost. Russian air defense traditionally shoot at its own forces.
Wow.
Come on, Ilya, go away. Was it the helicopter that exploded? So, go away. He's flying here.
But it is not flying here.
Yes, Ilya. It was the helicopter that exploded. Ilya, go away.
Lay down.
A mineral fertilizer plant in Russia was hit. Videos are being shared by local residents.
Another is flying. He's healthy. Second.
What are you waiting for?
Where am I going to be in red? Got it. There was black smoke coming out from behind the house.
The balaclavas shook.
Dear viewers, we continue to follow the events in Ukraine and around the world. Stay with us, subscribe to this channel and like this video. Support Ukraine. See you soon.